Welcome to Malice and Mystery, where the darkness speaks. Enter a world of chilling tales, eerie mysteries, and spine-tingling horror. From real-life paranormal encounters to unsolved mysteries and terrifying urban legends, we bring you the darkest stories from the shadows. Subscribe if you dare, and remember, some mysteries are better left unsolved. Real stories of people who survived kidnappings. Kidnapping. A word that strikes fear into the hearts of many. For those who have lived through it, it's a nightmare that forever changes their lives. We bring you the real stories of survivors, ordinary people who faced unimaginable terror and lived to tell their tale. The screen transitions to a montage of news headlines about kidnappings, interspersed with blurred images of police tape, empty streets, and worried faces. Segment 1. The abduction of Sarah Thompson. A woman in her late 30s sitting in a cozy living room. She looks directly into the camera, her eyes reflecting both pain and resilience. Sarah Thompson. It was a Tuesday evening. I was walking home from work, just like any other day. I never thought something like this could happen to me. But then, I heard footsteps behind me. Before I could turn around, someone grabbed me from behind. Everything went black. A dark street, a woman walking alone, and a shadowy figure approaching from behind. The sound of a struggle is heard, followed by silence. Sarah. I woke up in a dark room, tied to a chair. I didn't know where I was or who had taken me. All I could think about was my family, my kids. I had to survive for them. Sarah? My captor was unpredictable. Sometimes he'd yell at me, other times he'd just sit and stare. I knew I had to stay calm, to think clearly. I started talking to him, trying to humanize myself. I told him about my kids, my life. I think that's what saved me. A police car arriving at a remote location. Officers rush in, and Sarah is seen being carried out, wrapped in a blanket. Sarah, after 3 days. The police found me. Don't know how they did it, but I'll forever be grateful. Those 3 days felt like a lifetime, but I survived, and I'm here today to tell my story. Segment 2. The escape of Miguel Rodriguez, man in his early 40s, sitting in a park. The sun is shining and birds chirp in the background. He looks calm, but serious. Miguel Rodriguez. I was driving home from a business trip when it happened. A car cut me off, and before I knew it, 3 men surrounded my vehicle. They dragged me out and threw me into their trunk. I thought I was going to die. A car being forced off the road, men in masks pulling Miguel out of his car, and the trunk slamming shut. The sound of a car engine revving up is heard. Miguel. They took me to an abandoned warehouse. They wanted money ransom. But I knew my family couldn't afford to pay. I had to find a way out. Miguel, I noticed a loose nail on the floor. Took hours, but I managed to grab it and cut through the ropes. When they weren't looking, I made a run for it. Didn't look back, I just ran. Miguel running through a forest, the kidnappers chasing him. He stumbles, but keeps going, finally reaching a road where a passing truck stops to help him. Miguel. I was lucky. That truck driver saved my life. But not everyone gets that chance. I still have nightmares, but I'm alive. And that's what matters. Segment 3. The resilience of Emily Carter, young woman in her 20s, sitting on a couch with a cup of tea in her hands. She looks thoughtful, her voice steady but emotional. Emily Carter. I was only 16 when it happened. I was walking home from school and a man offered me a ride. I was naive. I got in the car, and that's when everything changed. A young girl getting into a car, the driver smiling at first, then his expression turning sinister as he locks the doors. Emily, he took me to a cabin in the woods. For weeks, he kept me there. I was terrified, but I knew I had to stay strong. I started planning my escape. Emily looking out a window, memorizing the layout of the cabin. She pretends to cooperate with her captor, biding her time. Emily. One day, he left the door unlocked. I didn't hesitate. I ran as fast as I could through the woods until I found a road. A kind stranger stopped and called the police. Emily, it's been years, but I still think about it every day. I've learned to live with the pain, to turn it into strength. I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor. These are just a few of the countless stories of survival. Each one is a testament to the strength of the human spirit, to the will to live, and to the power of hope. To all the survivors out there, your courage inspires us all. Until next time, this is Malice and Mystery, signing off. Sleep well if you can.